that you've done for me, everything that you've done for me. Blessings and glory.
Hey, what's up, family? This is Keaton Bibles from God Sent Music Podcast. I got a special guest with me today. Before we get started, if you haven't yet, go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Like, follow, subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button. Leave a comment. Tell me anything you think I can do better, or anything I can leave a comment, anything about this podcast. We got a special guest with us today. I met this guy a couple weeks ago at my church music summit, and he did a class. And man, ever since then, I had to bring him on because this dude, he's real deal. His name is Clifton Williams. What's up, Clifton?
Hey, my man, how you doing?
I'm doing good. This guy said some things at the music summit we still talk about to this day. We like, man, when it come down to professionalism, this the man right here. Man, tell everybody where you from.
Yes, sir. I'm born and raised from Washington, D.C., nation's capital. I lived there for up until high school years, and then I went to college in Boston, and then I moved to Los Angeles after I graduated, and then I just recently transplanted to Dallas, Texas.
Okay, so you went to Berkeley School of Music, right?
Yes, sir. Boston, Massachusetts. Yep.
Yep. So how did you feel Berkeley School of Music helped you along with your music journey?
Oh, tremendously, because it's a great networking opportunity. It's a great place to build up your playing because, there's musicians that come from all over the world who go to Berkeley. So it's really amazing to just indulge in all of this musical creativity, musical expression, musical advancement. So it's a really great mecca. Boston is a great what do they call it? College city. So it's a bunch of different colleges all around. So it's a really great place to be creative. A really great place to just advance in your music abilities. If you want to do that, it's great for that.
Because I hear a lot of gospel musicians, they be like, man, I see the professionals and I want to just go out and just play, but you have to know the basics and even more than just the basics of music, right? So there's nothing wrong with getting education in it, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure. Because the education is just going to give you. I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday that, people who learn to play by ear or who learn by rote, they develop their own understanding of music and how it's supposed to sound and how it's supposed to go. Now, when you add education to that, it just gives you a firmer understanding. It kind of gives you the context. It gives you the details that you know about, but you can't kind of put your finger on, or you can't put it into words. So that's why the education is important, so that you can, one, know it for yourself, and then you can share it with other people in a way that is productive and conducive to their environment. So yeah, that education key is always very, very important.
And it also, too, open up your range of playing for people. Because sometimes, when you learn by ear, you just stuck in that one genre of music, basically, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, you're learning by ear, you're learning whatever is at your leisure, whatever you want to learn. So you, in a sense, can put yourself in a box, by just learning by ear. But when you seek out education, it starts to challenge you in different ways. Like when I went to Berkeley, I would join ensembles. Like I joined a Miles Davis electric band ensemble, and I wanted to know what is it like playing this type of abstract jazz, and what is it like using different instruments and, experimenting on stage being in the moment, raw jazz. You know what I mean? So you get to tap into those different worlds when you jump into specifically at Berkeley. You get to tap into a lot of different worlds, different, not just playing gospel music, but or like a choral ensemble, or a jazz, a hip hop, a reggae.
Yeah,
And you can tie that back, and you can, because it's all music, it's all eighth notes, it's all quarter notes.
exactly.
It's only 12 notes in the scale, so it's all going to be music. So you get to tie it together, and you get to have a better foundation of where your musicality will lie.
Yeah, but I went back to school for music. I had to be in the rock band ensemble, and
Wow.
it was just a
Uh-huh.
whole different world from
It's
playing
it is.
gospel.
It is. It really is. And it's one to be respected, right? Because
Yes,
rock
it
has this,
is.
when you understand, when you get outside of your bubble, if you jump into the rock bubble, it's a big world. People love it. People show up to the concerts. They have just
Yes,
as many award shows, like it is its own world. So it's not to be disrespected or even compared almost. It's just that, you understand the dynamic of this different type of style of music.
yeah.
And
I remember. Go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, and you know how to use it, and you know when to use it appropriately.
Cause I remember when I first joined some rock bass players, cause I played the bass. I used to
Mhm.
think they just playing, but them guys are literally playing chords and scales and the same 12 notes we play in gospel
Mhm.
music.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, and some of that stuff could be, even the riffs and the run, especially in rock music. Sometimes that stuff is harder than gospel music.
Yes,
Seriously, so it's all music. It's just understanding the nature, understanding the approach, and understanding the type of dynamic you need to have in to fit that genre of music.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, let me ask you another question. Who are some of the artists you had played for down through the years?
I play for a number. I'll start with gospel because I do. I haven't actually it's interesting because I'm a touring musician. I don't consider myself to have played for in gospel artists
Okay,
because that those words get thrown around a lot, and then they're like, so and so's playing for who? I have shared the stage with a lot of gospel
okay,
artists, and I've been in charge of the band and making sure. So, for example, like I was saying, I do the MLK concert every year in Dallas, and I've worked with a number of gospel artists. Getting their songs together and playing their music or playing some covers that they're going to do. So, just as of recent, I worked with Kim Burrell last year, top of the year, making sure she was okay. And this was the MLK concert. This year, top of this year, was Leandria Johnson and Avery Wilson. I worked with them for this concert. Who else? CC Winans I've worked with before. And then I go to the R&B world. I've toured with more people. I like to. I don't like to say I like work with people who I tour with unless I have a personal relationship with them. You know what I mean?
true,
Because
true.
it can be it's understood that I know these people. It's not just like, hey, I shared the stage with them. So when people ask me, but like for Lettucey, I know Lettucey. Like we talk. She is my friend. I shared the stage with her. I've toured with her. Like Kenny Babyface, I consider us friends. I've shared the stage with them. I talk with them. I just wished them happy birthday a couple of weeks ago. Like, those are people I've worked with and I really have grown to have a relationship with, because I've learned that it's really all about relationship. It's all about networking. It's about knowing how you can assist people, how you can aid people, and not in a malicious way, but just out of strength of what you can provide. So I think those are just a couple of people I've worked with. I'm actually about to go on tour June and July with a funk bass player. Her name is Nick West, who I know. Like I just texted her yesterday. Like
One of the
these are
baddest
people.
bass players in the industry.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Amazing.
So yeah, I think I'm trying to even expand my network of people who work. Like I want to rap with more. I want to work with more rap artists. I want to work with more Latin artists. Definitely overseas. I want to work definitely in the K-pop scene. So I just trying to expand and trying to figure out my personal journey as I move through this music career.
And now I'm listening to you talk, and one thing you talk about is establishing a relationship with the people that you play with. And I think a lot of time with church musicians, we don't understand the political side of being a church. We think just coming and playing on Sunday morning is all we supposed to do.
Right.
Give me my money, I did my job. But you spoke to
Right.
us in the music summit about it so much more than just coming to church and playing on Sundays.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think, yeah, like you said, people underestimate the power of relationship. I mean, they get it, but when we think of relationship, we always think of it one sided. Well, what can they do for me? And it's really, especially, with church, it's the first thing is about Jesus gave. Like he's a giver. Like he's going to teach you and he's going to give to you. And so you have to model yourself like Jesus. Be a giver. If you want to teach people, but give by teaching. And so I feel like as a church musician, yeah, you go do your job, get your check, of course, take care of your business, but also make sure you are being nice, you're being cordial, you're talking to people, you're getting to know people, because then you start to understand the dynamic of where you are, like you understand who has a lot of say so, who's all the talk, who actually knows people, who's connected, and that will be to your advantage so that you can know what you're working with and how to maneuver, whatever situation you may be in. So yeah, it's not just enough to come and play and peace out. You gotta talk. You gotta be friendly. You gotta be, and most importantly, like I was saying at that session, you gotta be yourself. You just gotta talk to people, be natural, be kind, and let those relationships flow.
Cause what's one of the biggest mistakes you see with church musicians as far as I don't want to say church musicians, but the Sunday musicians who just
Mm.
come to church and play. What's some of the mistakes you see that they make that affect a lot of them later on down the road, or another church would be like, hey, I don't even want to be bothered by him because I heard about you at the last place.
Right. Well, I think it's two things. It's one is attitude, right? Because I don't know why, but in church, it's easy to just get an attitude, like, oh, because we all expect it's supposed to go this way, the songs are supposed to sound like this, or they're supposed to wear this. No, they're supposed to march in. No, you play this song too slow for offering. So everyone just kind of has their way of how they think it's supposed to go. So when you start to bring in that type of energy, you unfortunately run into attitudes. And people gotta let the attitudes go. Like it ain't my church, it ain't your church, it ain't even the pastor's church, it's God's church. So,
Yes.
the reality is if God is being praised and we all can come onto one accord to praise God, then let's just do that. Let's focus on that. Drop the attitude, drop the I think, I want, it's supposed to go. Let go of the control, let God be in control. That's one. So I think that's one thing that holds people back is attitudes. The other thing, specifically with musicians, holds us back is um, the kind of the lack of practice or the lack of responsibility to become better. We think like you play at church, you can play at a bigger church, or you can make more money, or you could do this, and that's kind of it. That's the cream of the crop. I'll be fine. But I think we also lack the responsibility to get better at our instruments, to actually figure out what are other ways I could be uh, mm, monetizing my instrument. I can be monetizing my career. What are other ways? Or I could just be a blessing to other people. How can I give back? Okay, I have 3 drum sets. Why don't I give this one away? Or why don't I donate this one to a school? Or why don't I go over here and make this connection with this company and this audio company and bring them over to the church, like actual connection, actual responsibility to be a better
Hmm.
person, to be a better player, to be a better Christian. I think we just kind of throw it all out of the window after a while. It's like, well, I did my job, like I got my check, like they shouted, they was good, like, on to the next. And I think, we just have to increase that responsibility to be better stewards, right? To be better diligent servants. So don't get caught up in the receiving part of I got my check and I'm in this position now. I'm the music director, or I'm the lead person, or I got the keys to the church, whatever, like whatever, like just focused on being diligent and being a servant and how you can give to people, and that alone will elevate you. That will stop you from being amongst the normal.
I hear that so many times with church musicians. I'm the best bass player in this church. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't
Right,
going
right,
nowhere. They
right.
ain't gonna get rid of me. And I'm like, bass players is all across the city. You know, they can just bring in another one, right?
Yeah, seriously, it is. It's no respect of person or title or any of that, because the reality is there's 10 other people out there who can play it just as good, if not better. So,
So true.
you really got to understand, it's a very humbling experience, because yes, I know I'm great. Yes, I know I can play. I can get your band together. I can uh, do whatever that service needs, but so can someone else. So now it just becomes about humility and about grace. Now I'm graced the opportunity to be exactly where I am at this exactly appointed time. So let me hone in on that grace, hone in on that gratefulness, and give the moment what it needs. And so that's why I love playing music, and that's why I love. It doesn't matter about the location, because God is in all music. So those moments where you feel that the music is flowing in a way that wasn't rehearsed, you know what I mean? That wasn't tried to be that wasn't prone to perfection. It just naturally happened. I look forward to those moments, because that's when we kind of you get rid of your attitude, you get rid of your position, you get rid of your any type of thing, title or anything like that, and it just really becomes about the nature and the nurture of the music and where it's supposed to take everyone.
Exactly. Because you speak so passionate about the music, and you like me, man, I love music. I believe I was born with music in my hand, but it
Yes, sir.
was me on the drum set or me playing the bass. It's
Mm.
something about music that musicians like us just love.
Right. Very true. Very true. It draws us. Yeah, it draws us. And that's what I love. That's what let me know. I had to had this conversation, because after after every musician should, at least, if you're a church musician, take that time to just sit down. Don't play. Sit in church, just like, okay, would I be here if I wasn't getting the check? Would I be here if I wasn't on the instrument? And I had to really be like, you know what? I would be. Like, I love God. I don't have to be on an instrument. I can serve him. I can praise him, without being on an instrument. Is it my preference? Yes. But you just really have to come to those terms beforehand. So then that way it's kind of a self-check, right? A self-acknowledgement, like, hey, why am I doing this? What am I actually here for? Do I actually, like, is this just about the money? Is this just about the fame, or the all of that comes with being a church musician? Is it so I can impress my parents? Like, what is the reasoning for actually being on an instrument and wanting to express yourself?
So true, so true. And you also is like a lot of musicians I know. You married with a family. So
Yes,
I,
sir.
I know you don't let that be your excuse of why I can't learn a piece, why I
Right.
can't advance my craft, why I can't be better. And you have it hard on both ways. You had tons of music to learn, and you have a wife and family.
Yeah, man. It's a balance thing. Yeah, because a lot of musicians, it's always a struggle trying to figure out the whole family thing, the whole wife thing, or the significant other person. Like, how does that play a role in my career? And what does that look like? And if I'm dating, especially musicians, we have a bad rep with the whole uh dating
Yeah.
promiscuity. You know what I mean? So it's like, you it's all in balance, right? And you have to know what you're trying to do, what you're trying to aim for, and your actions have to match that. So, and because your reputation precedes you, your actions going to hear about those actions before you start talking about them. So you got to remember that, and you got to move accordingly. And if whatever you do, just move with purpose. If you
Yes,
move with
sir.
purpose, then you're not confused as to why are they saying that, or they shouldn't be saying that. Well, it's based upon how you're moving. So you always have to do that. You have to do that self work. You have to retract and be like, okay, what am I doing? What is this for?
Yes, sir. That is so true. Well, I'm gonna ask you another question because the interview is not long and we almost about to wrap up. But growing up, what is some of your favorite projects that say, man, I love music. I gotta get in the shade and practice. What are some of the famous projects, your favorite project that made you say, man, this is what I want to do for a living?
Right. Oh, that's a great question. It's not just one,
Okay.
because I feel like I have a very diverse listening ear. I just don't like to listen to gospel, not just rap or R&B. I like to listen to it all. So especially when I think about my upbringing, like I played at a very young age. I was playing in a gospel choir in middle school, but I was playing for, it wasn't just gospel, because we did so many different diverse types of music. Like we would do some Spanish music, we would do some Gregorian chants, we would do some classical music, some theater music. So when I think some of the most like amazing uh projects that made me know I wanted to do music, I'll say, let me see, for R&B it was definitely Michael Jackson, right? I think
Okay.
any Michael Jackson album was just so on purpose, so on brand, so like hitting, killing like every time.
Uh-huh.
He just really had a he just people who make you feel like they fulfill their purpose in life, which I think Michael Jackson's purpose was to be an entertainer, to dance, to sing, to do all of that. And I feel like he just was really in his element. So any Michael Jackson album, either Thriller or Bad, those were like just the top albums.
Uh-huh.
Let me think. Musical theater was always Ragtime. The
Yeah.
uh the
Yeah.
Ragtime.
Classic.
Yes, just like bum 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 bum
Yeah.
shum, gong 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 gong. Shabba da 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 da. The
Yep.
people call it ragtime. Like I was like, what is this? Like all of this energy, all of this fanfare, costumes, and the music and the dancing all coming together. I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. So I love musical theater. I love any type of production, type of all of that. I love putting all of the arts elements together. What else? Classical. I love, like, because I was a huge classical head before I went to Berkeley, actually. So I love any Rachmaninoff pieces. Um,
Yes.
I love practicing the Chopin preludes, although I don't practice them as much as I like to. But I like the dexterity and the fingering. I was like, I can't believe, people really had time to create this type of intense music. You know what I mean? And so it just gets me all into their lifestyle. Okay, what was that like to not have a TV and not to have a car and to just really, your life is just every day you just sit
Yes.
and write music. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So I just all over the whole diaspora of music. I think all of it has a place. All of it is important. All of it, is key to striking a chord with anybody. And it doesn't matter the genre. So those are just a couple of that I love. But I can go on. I can talk about some Latin
Yeah.
music. I could talk about
So
I could
what
talk about
about
gospel.
gospel music? What's one of your favorite gospel projects?
Gospel has always been Richard Smallwood for me, because I'm from DC. He's from DC. Just that whole approach to gospel with the classical elements and
Yes.
embellishments, it always just spoke to me. It's very regal. It's very on. It's just very together. A very distinct sound. So like Richard Smallwood, Donald Lawrence. I
Yes.
love the Clock Sisters. Um, and then I even go down to very specific songs that I really like. Like there's one song by Evelyn. what is her name? Evelyn Turner, something like that. But she has a song, like it's just one song that me and my wife like really, really love. And it's just a simple like quartet gospel song. But like, but it just has so much energy, so much power. So yeah, any song like that is very like, very touching, very purpose.
Okay, I think the CD, one of the CDs, I was already in love with gospel music before the CD came out, but Pages of Life, Fred Hammond, chapter one and
Mhm.
two, the double
Yeah,
disc. It just, I remember being a teenager. I was like, oh my goodness, what is
yeah,
Fred doing on this? But
exactly.
them are, like you say, them are groundbreaking CDs that made
Right.
us fall in love with what we do.
Exactly. Exactly, exactly. And those artists, they were really in their element making their music. And
Especially
it's
Richard
undeniable.
Smallwood. I think he
Exactly.
went to school for music too, right?
He went to Howard, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And when he sit down at the piano, you'd be like, oh my goodness.
You can tell immediately. Yep, yep. You can tell the education. And you can tell people in their element. Like I think about like well, I was just doing this tour with Kenny Babyface and Anita Baker. And Anita Baker is so, I'm talking about top of this year. She is so in her element, even still to this day. She
Oh
sounds
wow.
just like the records. She takes care of her voice. She respects her music. Like it's just really the level of professionalism and the level of care towards the music is very intimate, very passionate, very deep, and you don't get that, like in these 2023 years because music has been watered down so much where you get like I just saw there's Logic on the iPad. You can create music at the literally the push of a button. You can push one button and create a whole song. Matter of fact, you can take old songs with the artificial intelligence and you can have someone else sing it and turn it into a whole new song. Like it's just music has not music has kind of lost its
Yeah.
fervor, right? You know what I mean? Like
And
people
that's
don't
across the board from hip
across the
hop
board. Yep,
to
at
R
all
and
of it.
B to gospel to country. Before you
Yeah,
had Logic and Pro Tools, you had to you had to go put in some work, right?
yeah. You had to put in real work. It had to come from the actual person, from the hands, from the your actual mind, from your actual voice. Just authentic, like what you could do, what you could produce from yourself, not with the help of technology. So yeah, it's interesting to see the respect change, you know what I mean? But it's to some extent, maybe it loses its fervor, but it's definitely just changing into a way that, you know, it's just different. It's different. That's pretty
Different.
much it's
Definitely
different.
different. Well, man, we about to finish this up, but before we leave, I see so many young. I mean, you just keep it real. Most musicians come up in church because
Yes, sir.
you get young kids that see musicians playing in the corner. And they're like, ah, man, I want to be like them. I
Yes,
want to
sir.
be like them. What would
Yep.
you tell any young musician coming up that have dreams and hope of being a professional musician like you one day?
I would say first, if you really want to do it. Go ahead, befriend that drummer, that keyboard player, that bass player. Like just reach out to them. Go see them. They're playing. They play it this Sunday. They play this Sunday. Go tell them you appreciate their playing. Like really indulge yourself. Just engulf yourself in that world, and then set yourself up in a way that it will be promising financially, hello somebody, and also purposefully. Make sure you then find your own purpose. Like, and as far as how do you want to do music, to what extent, to what dynamic, are you going to be that person in front of an 18 person crowd? Are you playing at the 5,000 seat church, or are you playing at the 500 seat church, or are you playing at the 25 seat church? Like, does that matter to you? It doesn't matter how much money you want to make. Doesn't matter what type of instruments you want. The $7,000 bass, or you want the $2,500 bass. You know what I mean? Like, do you want to be working with people who are just there because they enjoy music, or who are there because this is their career and their reputation and this that? It becomes to you have to find your own dynamic. So yeah, I say go ahead and befriend those people, get to know them, engulf yourself in that industry, but then create your own dynamic for what you need it to be for you personally, so that you can always you can live in your true purpose as far as what it means to be a musician.
Exactly. Because they got it so much better than us. We didn't have YouTube.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No YouTube, no record, right? No recording, right? You know what I mean? Like I'm on the verge because I'm only 31, so I'm pretty young. So
Oh,
YouTube was
okay.
just starting come up. Like this whole digital world was. I was at the beginning of it. So even still, it's like to understand like the people who came before me. Like, yeah, no YouTube. Hell, you can barely get to the places you want to hear people playing. Like if they're playing over here, like that's it. You missed it. Like you just, so it's just a whole different world. It's a whole different
Yeah.
dynamic. So there really are no excuses for people to understand and be able to engulf themselves in this music career. It's just about understanding, what do you want your direction to be? What do you want your dynamic to be? And as long as that's self putting yourself first and self obtain, like you understand, like, hey, this, I'm doing this because it's for me and it brings me joy. And I think you can really you can really perfect your instrument how you want it to be, because that's what you want. So I think you were asking about, like, hey, what do people ask me all the time, well, what do you think about people who transpose and they do this? Well, if that's the extent that they want their music career to be, who am I to be like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that? Like, will
True.
I call them for a gig? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But if they want to become better, there is better. We all know that. So it's a self-obtaining, it's a self-acknowledgement thing. Some people, if they want to transpose, let them do that. If they want to become better, they will do that too. So you have to figure out what's your comfort level, what's your dynamic, and once you become comfortable with that, then you can really make either some moves. You can be more confident in what your purpose is.
Yes, sir. You also give lesson and teach at the music school. So before we leave, give out all your social media information and where you teach at. And I'm telling y'all, when y'all looking for a great keyboard player, pianist, music theory, this is the man right here. So go ahead and give out the social media information.
Yeah. So I just started teaching recently at the Coppell Music Academy. That's right over here in Coppell, Texas. So you can see them with CoppellMusicAcademy.com. Also, my Instagram and social media, Facebook, you can reach me at Clifton Williams or at YesCliffWill, YesClifWill. Reach out anytime if you need lessons, if you need arranging, production, music direction, any of that. I'm good.
Yes, sir. Hey, Gossick Music want to say thank you, man. I am grateful you gave me a few. You're busy, man. You way busier than me. Because you always on tour and you always praying for a church. Plus you married with family. So for you to take out a few minutes, hey man, I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your platform, because people need to know this information. And it's amazing that you're taking the time to want to share it and gather that knowledge to share with other people, man. So kudos and respect to you.
Yes, sir, because I'm getting older, so I already know I ain't going to be able to play forever.
Right, exactly. Seriously. And yeah, that's a conversation people need to have. Like, hey, where is this going to head? Like, what do I want to do? How can I, turn this into something that benefits me and not having me working like a slave, until I'm old and gray.
Is he your rock now? Let me see you.